Welcome. By the end of this video, you should be able to define nutrition-related terms. This will enable you to use them, apply them, and understand wherever you find them. So we start with nutrition. Nutrition is a whole body of knowledge. You can call it a study, meaning it is a broader aspect, but it is something you can concentrate on and even become a professional in. Nutritionists study, they practice, they apply knowledge to do with food and how that food is utilized in the body. All processes involving the utilization of food fall under nutrition. That is the utilization of food inside the human body. All knowledge which is about what food contains, the substances present in food, what makes food food, what are the qualities of food, all that qualifies to be nutrition. What is the importance of these substances present in food? How does that make food different from, say, medicine? How does food become different from something which is manufactured, for example? Because we have so many things that can be artificially manufactured to resemble food, but they don't remain food, or we cannot classify them as food. So what is nutrition? Nutrition is a body of knowledge. It is a study of food in terms of what it contains and how these substances, once taken into the human body, are utilized to benefit the human body. So the substances I'm talking about are actually called nutrients. Nutrient. The term nutrient refers to a substance which is present in food, but once ingested or when it gets into the human body, it will give value or it will benefit the human body in a certain way. There are certain benefits to the human body that are exclusive of only food. So if there is a substance that can play these benefits or these functions, it then can be classified as a nutrient. What is a nutrient? A substance present in food, naturally present in food, which if I ingested this food will give value, benefit the body, or be utilized by the body to perform a number of functions. And these functions we know are the functions of food in the body. What are these functions? The first function of food is growth. We eat to grow. The second function of food, to provide energy. We eat to get energy. In addition to growth, food enables the body to form cells, which will result in growth and development of the human body. Another function of food, the third function of food, is that once I ingest this food, it should enable my body to perform or to function properly. Different processes of the body to go on properly. The body should be able to fight infection on its own. The body should be able to produce energy. The body should be able to build and form cells well. In other words, systems should be able to go on naturally and also at their greatest level of performance. So the general well-being of the human body is actually primarily performed by nutrients. What are the examples of such nutrients that help the body to stay well? Vitamins and minerals, together with essential oils that are examples of lipids. So generally, examples of nutrients include vitamins, minerals, lipids, proteins, carbohydrates, and water. Carbohydrates are the nutrients we know that are primarily used by the human body to produce energy. They have other functions, but primarily to produce energy. Proteins has various functions, but we primarily know that the body depends on proteins in order to form cells which will result into increase in number or mass, which is termed naturally as growth. Sometimes people measure growth as increase in height, but also increase in width. Combined, all form growth, but then there's also increase in complexity, which we call development. The primary function of water is to be a medium for all reactions in the body to take place. But also water beyond being a natural solvent and a medium for reactions to take place. Water itself is a metabolite, meaning it is necessary in some reactions. Now, what is food? This food we are talking about. A substance qualifies to be called food if it contains at least one nutrient, meaning if a substance contains one nutrient, it's food. But the problem with containing nutrients, sometimes a substance can contain nutrients, but it is not in a condition that you can eat, or even when we treat it, you may not be able to eat it. In other words, it is not edible. The palatability of food is its ability to be edible. So by definition, food should be a substance. It could be a liquid, it could be a solid. But if I ingest it in the human body, it gives me at least one or more nutrient, which can then be utilized for energy production, growth, and general well-being. Let's give some examples. Rice. How many nutrients do we know are present in rice? How many nutrients could we find in beef? How many nutrients could we find in milk? Probably several. But there are certain foods we literally call empty calories, for example, that we know contains only calorific nutrients. Maybe there is only carbohydrates. Maybe there is only lipids and carbohydrates. What does this whole empty calorie thing mean? Calories are good, but it would be nice to combine them with other nutrients. So a food which contains more than one nutrient is a good one, a good supply, a good source of nutrients. But also one which contains only one nutrient remains a food. Soil. Plants use soil as a source of nutrients. If human beings ate soil, would they get these nutrients, especially minerals? Of course they would, but soil is not palatable. You can't even cook it and say now it's edible. No. A raw meat. A lion will eat a raw animal and will grow healthy. Grass. Cows and herbivorous animals will eat grass and they will even put on weight. But human beings may not be able to eat the grasses, at least not all kinds. They may not be able to eat the raw flesh until it has been processed or it has been treated in a certain way, either by heat, maybe cutting or addition of certain chemicals, to transform that food into a form which you can eat. We enjoy meat, but we are not able to eat the raw meat. But when we cook it, that raw meat now becomes palatable. The palatability of food is its ability to be accepted as food by my mouth, my senses, my mind. So that is a whole other thing, to transform food in a form which is acceptable. But basically speaking, at garden level, at shelf level, if something contains a nutrient, that's food. Then, what does a dish mean? Because sometimes we talk about dishes, then we talk about foods, then we say that's a dish, that's not food. Now, if I have transformed or I have made food go through certain processes or certain ways of preparation, then it ceases to be food as a source of a nutrient, but it becomes a dish, meaning I have prepared it specifically or in a certain way to bring out certain qualities and characteristics such as smell, taste, color, shape. Then it ceases to just be food. It becomes a dish with a specific name, or it becomes a dish with a specific method of preparation. For example, at the garden level in the shop, I have rice. At the table, I don't have rice. At the table, I have boiled rice. At the table, I have egg fried rice. At the table, I have steamed rice. At the table, I have rice balls. At the table, I have some rice samosas. It is all rice, but it has gone through different processes or methods of preparation or even stages of preparation to become a dish. Where do dishes get names? Dishes are named just like human beings are named. You can name it based on the method of preparation. You can name it any name. That is why when we go to restaurants, on the menu, they will put a name of a dish and explain that this is Russian confetti. Russian confetti contains rice, boiled and mixed with eggs, and then mixed with a variety of meats, pan-fried, and then subjected to a minimum of 4 degrees centigrade for 4 days, and then thawed. Blah, 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 blah. Meaning, even you can come up with your own dish. If you use the ingredients around you, be creative about how you manipulate them, then you can produce a dish no one has ever produced.